All right, if you guys want to go ahead with questions for Donald.
Hey, how you doing? Donald Payne Jr. This is Alan from the Alan and Aaron Sports Creative Show. Pleasure to meet you.
Hey, pleasure to meet
Eh,
you as well.
That's great to hear. And there's so much I guess that goes into this game. Talk about yourself and being in this opportunity to play in another huge game.
Um, well, up until a couple weeks ago, my season was about to be cut short. Was put on IR because of an ankle injury. Ended up getting a second opinion. So was a blessing to even play in the first playoff game. So this is just another opportunity for me to go out and with my teammates and hopefully come away with a victory in a huge game. So this has all kind of been like a blessing in disguise for me personally. So I'm just happy that I get to go out there for my teammates and championship game, national stage. Everybody's gonna be watching, all NFL teams. All leagues around. So it's gonna be a blessing, and I can't wait for May 13th for sure.
Yeah, and just talk about that high ankle sprain that actually happened with the Orlando Gardens. That's a team that I cover. Talk about how that injury happened and what was your initial thoughts?
Um, just getting caught up with the big guys. When you banging around with 300-pound men, somebody's happened to bound to fall on you or kick you. So that's exactly what happened. Made a tackle. Ankle got twisted the wrong way. Fell on it really hard. So ended up having a bone bruise, high ankle sprain. And you try to fight through those things and try to fight through it. But it was something that I like. If I'm out there, I always want to put good things on tape. And I just knew I wasn't able at my highest ability. Um, so it's something I had to fight through. That I had to fight through this past game, but training staff has done a great job. So Patrick Mahomes played in the Super Bowl with his high ankle sprain, so I should be fine too. So
Hey, Donald, last week you held Houston to 100, under 100 yards passing, under 225 of total yards of offense as well against the Roughnecks. I mean, just an incredible defensive performance to get into this championship game. What was the key for you guys last week?
um, honing in on our fundamentals for sure. Honing in on our fundamentals and techniques. So we didn't try to do anything fancy to them. We didn't try to blitz them too much. We kind of just sat back and said, okay, they want to play their running quarterback Cole McDonald. Okay, well, we're gonna play back. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna let them run the read option. We're gonna tackle the ball in front of us, and then once our offense put up that many points, now they got to throw the ball. Hey, look, I think we have one of the best passing defense in this league. We got Joe Powell back there making picks. We got Devontae Bosby, easily the best corner in this league. And then so it's really just that. So stop the run and then make them throw the ball on you. And I think that was a recipe for us that we succeeded with.
And as for the defenders, you guys lost against them a couple weeks ago in overtime. You guys meet again in the championship. I mean, there's no better scenario to get some revenge than in a championship game, right?
Oh, for sure. And I didn't get to play in the first game either. So this is my chance to get, basically I'm not saying they was down one of their boys, but Renegades was down one of their boys. Now I'm back. So it's gonna be a different one this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, that defense surely spearheaded by the pain train. I've heard you say that a couple of times before. You guys have had a season of ups and downs, but you guys fought through, and you guys, you overcame a lot of adversity, and now you're playing a championship game. What's the ride been like for this entire group?
I mean, it was a roller coaster ride for sure. First game of the year, we win on a 4th and 15. The excitement of being the first XFL game play. And then just the road bumps we had to go through. We're on our third quarterback. Who a team on their third quarterback is playing in a championship game. Who would have thought? So we've definitely had an up and down season. But sometimes it's when you get hot. So hey, look, we hot right now, and it's kind of our job just keep it going. We talked about it going into the playoffs. A lot of people didn't even want us to be in the playoffs, because we had a losing record. I heard through the grapevine that they were trying to, St. Louis was trying to have it set up like the NFL, where it's the first two teams in each division go, and then after that, it's just a wild card who has the best record. And in that situation, we wouldn't have been going to the playoffs. But in this situation, we were. And now it's 0-0. At the end of the day, Houston might have way better record than us, but it's 0-0 going into the playoffs, and so it was just our job, get things done.
Yeah, for sure. Both teams polarizing different results from the year. As for you personally, it's been a really good year for you. Top 5 in the league in tackles. How would you assess your first year in the XFL?
Um, I don't think this is out of the norm for me, to be honest. I mean, this is it's always great to play football, and I love playing the game. I think I play the game the right way. Hustle, get to the ball, max effort. But this is not an outlier for me. To be perfectly honest, in the USFL last year, I led the USFL in tackles. When I got to start in the NFL for 6 games during that time, I led the NFL in tackles. During that time, I got to start in 2019. So it's not nothing that the jumps off the tracks and everything. I wish I got to play 2 extra games. Maybe I could have led the league in tackle. Who knows? But it's been a fun ride. And Coach Lewis, who is a DC, he's the one who brought me here. He was my DC in the USFL. And so I'm basically rekindled with him, and I know the game plan, I know the scheme. So it's really just going out there trying to lead the guys, knowing the defense, just leading the team. And being that middle linebacker, I don't have to make every play, but I just want everybody to get lined up. And shoot, like I said, I think we have one of the best defenses in this league, and it's our job to go out and show that again that we did last week. It's our job to go show that again on May 13th.
Yeah.
Donald, how you doing? This is Kyle Nash with the 3-point conversion, man. Good to meet you and have a chance to talk to you here. Throughout the game where you eventually did end up representing the XFL South here in the championship, taking out the Roughnecks. Throughout it, there were references made to this. There you go. There were references made throughout that game about the Renegades being the ultimate second chance story and how perfect that is for the XFL. How does that relate to you? And do you think that's an accurate analogy for your squad in this championship game?
I believe it is. I believe it is for sure. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Vegas definitely had us counted out. A lot of people had us counted out this upcoming weekend, this past weekend. And it was just, like I said, it was 0-0. So no matter what happened during the season, we still have a chance to go to the championship. We only have had our quarterback, Luis, for 3-4 games. We're on our 3rd quarterback, and he literally rallied the guys. We really rallied around him. Luis, I know some people call him a spring league legend, all the spring league he's been in, but he is a sensational leader. And I think the guys rallied around the motivation he instilled in us. And as a defense, everybody on the defense side of the ball, we have a chip on our shoulder. There's so many guys we feel like we should be back in the NFL. A lot of guys who have played in NFL 30+ games. I think me, Devontae Bosby, Will Hill, Will Clark, we've all played over 30 NFL career games, so we have a chip on our shoulder, and it was just our job to go out and show the teams, we might be a little bit older, 28 and up, but we still got the juice just like the young guys. So it's just our job to go out and show it every weekend.
And as a quick follow-up, Donald, first of all, don't act like I didn't notice the off-the-tracks comments you made after we were talking about you being the pain train. I picked that up. We got that. But with that in mind, you mentioned getting hot late. A lot of teams that have made tournaments, even ones with losing records, making it into the tournament, in other leagues, getting hot at the right times, bid the thing. Do you think Luis Perez was that spark, or what do you think was the spark to get hot at the right time, like you were talking about? What got you on track for that, to keep that train theme going?
I'm not taking away from any of the two previous quarterbacks we had, Kyle Sloter and Drew. They were definitely they were great guys, great leaders. Both of them ended up getting injured in a certain aspect. So if you had to put it in perspective, Luis was that spark that we saw. He, like I said, everybody rallied around the guys, and I would say it was more that a pride factor kicked in. A pride factor definitely kicked in to a certain extent, because we're not used to losing. We don't want anybody to be used to losing. So when you get that used to losing aspect, you would dread coming out to practice every day. You would dread being in meetings every day. You dread the guys you're with. But that's nothing like here on this side on this side in Arlington. Coach Stoops, we all fun, great, loving guys, and we really just rallied around just being happy, being out there on the field, happy being out there playing with your teammates, and like I said, Luis brought a new energy, and I think we've all been rallying around him on that.
Donald, you talked about Coach. You just mentioned Coach Stoops. Obviously his track record at Oklahoma and some of the things he's able to do. What kind of presence has he brought to this team? I mean, he's kind of a laid back guy, isn't he? In general, I mean, has that kind of helped maybe you guys go through this as you kind of put together the stretch recently?
He is a laid back guy, but he will rip you up. he will rip you when he needs to. But it's almost like, I feel like it's almost like how young guys, when they play with LeBron, it's almost like you had that legendary guy on your side. You're on the Legends team now. I was still, I don't even think I was still in college when he retired from Oklahoma. So when you have a legend who's won so many games, won a national championship, he's coached with Steve Spurrier and everything, that you rally, you can see. You can see greatness in the air, basically. You can see why he's been so successful where he's been at. And I think he actually loves being back out here playing ball. It's one thing, like he kind of told us when we first came in, college, he's an older gentleman now. No offense, he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be at an 18-year-old's house trying to beg them to come play school. He doesn't want to do that. He kind of told us already. And then he knows what everybody in this league is trying to get to. Everybody has their why they playing this league. Some people it's because they have pride. Some people because they love football. Some people because they want to get back. So I think he really does. He respects that part of the game, that everybody's here for a reason, and it's for a bigger reason. Providing for your family, or hey, look, I want to show the teams that I'm still ready. So I think he attracts that, and he kind of gives that off as he goes around the day.
I gotta ask Donald, what's your why then? I gotta ask that because you just mentioned, well, he wants to know what everyone's why is. What's your why then, Donald?
Yeah, I kind of use this slogan a lot. I think I've used it after an interview before on the field, but not to prove people wrong. The people that don't believe in me, not to prove them wrong, but the people that do believe in me, prove them right. And I think a lot of people ask me, even after the USFL last year, hey, Donald, like, hey, look, why you not get picked up in the league? Why are you not in the NFL? Why you not this? Why you not that? And they continue to believe in me, and that's kind of why I continue going back on the field every day.
Hey, Donald,
this league. Go
ahead, Jared. You got it.
Okay. Donald, this league has given so many players some fresh tape to show off or to be evaluated on, and to keep their dreams of playing football alive as well. What's the journey been like for you, coming from the USFL and now putting yourself on a championship platform? What's the journey been like for you?
Man, it's been a crazy career so far. I'm 28, that's kind of older when it comes to football, but the career has been crazy. Starting off with the Jags, my very first rookie year, I got to play in the AFC Championship game against Tom Brady. If it wasn't Tom Brady, I'd probably have a Super Bowl ring. So I ain't really a fan of the GOAT too much. But anyway, but I mean, it's been a crazy journey. I'm a 5-year veteran. I have my pension with the NFL. I could shut it down if I want to, but hey, look, I still got so much juice left in my legs. The USFL was a great opportunity last year. Got to play with Coach Lewis. Got to be all USFL. Unfortunately, didn't get a call to come back to the NFL. Unfortunately, so this was basically not say my last go round to see if I can get back, but possibly, hey, I'm gonna switch something up. Okay, I went to the USFL last year. I did my thing. Why not come to the XFL that has a different timing period? It ends right before, right after the draft, right before mini camp and OTA, so you get that opportunity. So that was kind of my biggest reason on coming here. And the gameplay here, the guys that are on these teams have been stapled in the NFL a lot more. And I can already tell the gameplay after the very first game, I was like, wow, it is a lot faster than the USFL was last year, just to be perfectly honest. So there's a lot of good football out here being played. So journey's not over yet, but playing on the championship, hey, Coach Stoops said, hey, look, we might have been 4-6, et cetera, but hey, look, you got to play in a championship game in the XFL and 3.0. Everybody's eyes are going to be on it. So if you want to get an opportunity to go back, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. So hey, look, we working our butts off, even though this is technically a bye week. You know, we working our butts off. So come May 13th, we'll be ready to go for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Just you've played in the NFL, you played in the USFL, now the XFL. Just a little bit more about the speed of the game, the week to week routines of just like how things operate compared to the highest levels you've played. Is it just as close to the NFL as you would hope it is, just for evaluation purposes?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so personally. Me being playing in NFL for some years, and then going to USFL, and now being in the XFL. XFL personally for me being a linebacker, me having to guard wide receivers, tackle running backs, you know, play mind games with the quarterback. I feel like this league is the closest I've seen to an NFL team. I would say that, you know, at preseason games, maybe preseason game 3 or 4, you have a lot of the younger guys on the field. I would feel like the XFL is definitely faster than a preseason game 3 or 4 for sure. Definitely faster. Definitely have a lot more people have chip on their shoulder. I would say this, it feels like, I mean, it's just, you know, it's different skill sets and everything, but I definitely feel like this is the closest to a NFL speed, size, and everything for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared, you mentioned that you were one of the older guys, the OGs on the team. We're gonna call you seasoned, not older guy.
Yeah, I like that.
You
I
still
like
got
that.
something left in the tank. You're a
little
little seasoned. But is there a pre-game routine that you do before the game? And if so, what is it? And are you going to do something different because it's the championship?
Can't switch it up. Can't switch up the mojo for sure. Me personally, this is me personally. I always gotta wake up and throw on some Kirk Franklin. I automatically, I gotta throw on some Kirk Franklin at the beginning just to get the mood right. And you know, I feel like almost like Dion a little bit. Hey, look, when you look good, you feel good, you play good. So I definitely have it's almost like every game, you know, every game I've been in. It's just like a kid first day of school. I got my clothes laid out, what I'm wearing to pregame, you know, got my jewelry set out. This is exactly what I'm wearing. Wake up in the morning, good breakfast, throwing some Kirk Franklin, get dressed, and you know, I'm kind of one of the last guys over to the locker room. I don't like being in there too early, just sitting around, you know. So I come in there a little later than everybody else, and then after that, you know, put the headphones on and you know, and just get into a zone. You know, I wouldn't say I have a super you know, any voodoo I do, you know, to get ready before the game, but you know, that's kind of my vibe to do before the game. Not get there too early, and then at that point, you know, 2 hours before kickoff, you know, that phone goes on do not disturb, and look, if you hear from me, it's gonna be after the game.
Donald, I wanted to ask, what would an XFL title mean for you in your first year in this, you know, rebooted XFL league?
I've never won a ring. I never won a ring, you know. In high school, in Atlanta, Georgia, lost in the state championship game in the Georgia Dome. In my college career, played at Stetson University. It's a D1 AA, and I was actually part of the first football program there when it first getting started. So just imagine the first football program getting started off. You know, we had good players, but we weren't very good. My first year in the league, got close. AFC Championship game, lost, and then the previous years after that, the Jags weren't very good. So I've been part of winning teams, but I've never been a part of a team that's won it all. So this would mean, hey, look, I mean, I waited this long in my career to say, hey, I'm a champ at something. You know, I'm not the tackling champ. I'm not the individual awards. You know, they cool and everything, but I can never say I'm a champ. You know, so I got to try to see if we can do that on May 13th. Then I can actually say, hey, I'm a champ in something as a team.
Yeah, Donald. I'm glad I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned your time with Stetson, bringing in that program in its inaugural season. Now you're here involved in an inaugural season. What from that Stetson experience has helped you in your actions here in the XFL this season?
Everything's not going to go perfect. Everything's not going to be as organized as you think. You have to be able to move with the punches. You know, if you come here thinking, if you come here thinking everything's going to be peaches and cream, and if you aren't a person that can deal with adversity, it's not the league. This first league was not the league for you. I mean, it's been a great experience. I don't have any ill will or things, but at the end of the day, it is a new program. Just like when I was in college at Stetson, hey, things are going to go right. We're starting an entire new football program. You know, things weren't. We had 120 18-year-old freshman boys running around in 2013 in college. You know, things didn't go as it was planned, and you have to be able to deal with adversity and all these situations. And I think we've done a great job at it. I mean, I don't even think maybe it didn't get talked about, but even last week in Houston at our hotel, the hotel they had us staying at, the power went out at the hotel, water wasn't working, TVs weren't working, elevators weren't working. Every time we had to go to dinner, we had to walk up and down the stairs. Like nobody, like we had to go through that. And I bet Houston, they probably was in a fine hotel. They hotel maybe acting right, but ours wasn't. You know, no power, no elevator. You know, no water in the morning before the game. I mean, we had to go through some things, and guess what? It didn't stop us from winning. It didn't stop us from playing. So I think just the adversity you have to deal with. You know, it shows your true character. You know, we don't care when things are going good. We don't care how you act. You know, we want to see how you act when things aren't going your way. You know, so I think that's what we have to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Donald. And talk about that where things are not going your way. I love what you just said, because when you did get this right to go ahead and play, a lot of people from the Battlehawks kind of negated that because of the fact that you had a 4-6 record and they had a much better record. Talk to the fans who don't believe that you deserve to be in this game.
We made it to the championship, right? Houston didn't beat us, right? Houston scored 11 points, right? I mean, what can you say? You know, we beat them by double digits. St. Louis, they a good ball club. They definitely were. You know, AJ McCarron, he's a dog for sure. You know, they got some dogs on that defense as well. I mean, we're not saying everybody loves underdog stories. I mean, I don't want to be treated like an underdog, but hey, look, we are the underdog. We knocked down Houston one time. We knocked them off their high horse. DC, what you got for us?
Yeah, and that's amazing. That's amazing. I know that you're not big on individual accomplishments, but I have to kind of get your take on that. What did it mean to you to go ahead and be a Stetson Hall of Famer?
Man, that was got that call last summer right after the USFL season had ended, and got a call from the AD at Stetson and said, "Hey, look, I didn't know the process. I didn't know how long you had to be out of school to even get into the Hall of Fame. You know, I'm still in the mix of my pro career. You know, I'm not even really thinking about that. And they give me a call and say, "Hey, look, we want to induct you into the Stetson Hall of Fame." And I'm just like, of course, it's surreal to an aspect, because at the end of the day, I put blood, sweat, and tears for a university that I truly love, and I played all my 4 years there. Came back there for a fifth year, and put so much time and grind into that field to say, "Hey, look, you were a true Hatter." That's what we call it, a true Hatter. Stetson, how you were a true Hatter, and we want to induct you into the Hall of Fame, and we want you to be part of this university for the rest of your life. My kids, when I eventually get kids, my wife, and everything, I would love for us to go back and just see the plaque, see the wall, and everything. That's something I will always have as a legacy down there, and something I always have as a legacy. It was a great ceremony. Family came down, parents came down, everything. It was some tears shed. I don't like to shed tears too many times, but my dude was crying on my shoulder a little bit and everything. She never missed a home game at Stetson University in all my 4 years. So it was definitely more of a family. It was a family event, because at the end of the day, you know how they say a village raised a son. I wasn't by myself. My coaches, they worked their butt off to keep me in line. My mama worked her butt off after my dad passed when I was 13 to get me into this point. So, I mean, like I said, it takes a village to raise a child. So I think I had so many aunties and uncles there and everything. So it was a great experience for sure.
Donald, my only question about you being at Stetson, obviously 3-time All-American. What's it like to rep the Hatters on a national stage again?
You know how it be. Everybody's like, "Who? A Stetson? What is that? What's a Hatter?" Hey, but think about it. I mean, sometimes, when I play for the Jazz, when I play even here, they don't even call me, you know, Donald or number 18 or anything. They call me Stetson. They call me Hatter because, you know, everybody goes to LSU, Alabama, you know, so they just nickname me Stetson. So it's kind of cool to get that rank. And yeah, shoot, the street, you know, right across the way, Jacob DeGrom, you know, he went to Stetson as well. He's a Stetson Hall of Famer. So I'm in the boat with Jacob DeGrom, you know, he gonna be in the Hall of Fame in MLB one day, you know. So we got a couple cool alumni. So it's all right. It's all cool.
It's like a badge of honor, huh?
Exactly. Hey, Parham, we had one of my teammates who played for the Renegades before. Actually, on the game I didn't play, week 10, I actually had Donald Parham, who used to play for the Renegades in 2020. Who plays for the Chargers now. He was actually on the sideline. So, you know, we still, it's like such a small community that, you know, we're all close knit, we're all tight because it's such a small community of people who went to Stetson. So, you know, definitely always love my Hatter guys.
Hey, Donald, just real quick, what's your mom's name? I just want to make sure we get it.
Oh, Sylvia Payne. Sylvia.
Okay.
And for your NFL experience, because I was checking your background and you have a tremendous amount of experience all over across the board. What exactly, to clear up so that people understand, when you went to the NFL the last 2 times, the last 3 times I should say, what exactly happened?
Was with the Jags for 3 years. That was a great experience. Like I said, AFC Championship game first year. My last 2 years there was back up to Miles Jack. My 3rd year, I was able to start. In 2020, I was part of Washington. I was playing with Washington when we was just the Washington football team at that point. And in 2021, I was with San Fran during the off season and all the preseason.
Is that where you're looking to get back, hopefully, if everything goes well?
Oh, that's always been the goal. That's always been the plan. I know, like I said, some people have the reasons they're here in this league. I mean, my goal, hey, look, I got my pension. I played the years to get your, you know, credited and be vested and everything. But at the end of the day, I have plenty of juice left. It's one of those things where not making an excuse or anything like that, but it's one of those things where, you know, you usually keep 4 inside linebackers on the team. You just keep 4, you know, and 2 of those guys are the main starter. And the other 2 guys are special teams guys. And a lot of times, you know, when you have a vested veteran where I would be a 6-year guy, if you're going to be a backup linebacker, they'd rather get a kid who's 22, 23, where I got to pay a minimum to run down on special teams. And I don't fit that criteria because they would have to pay me a little bit more. So, but at the end of the day, we still been getting calls, you know, and I hope, you know, every team has been watching the last 2 Springs leagues I've been in to know, hey, look, this guy can ball. So why not bring him, give him another shot?
All right. Thanks, Donald, for the time. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on. I will, we really appreciate you guys jumping on from across the country. So hope this helps you guys.
Thanks, Donald. Appreciate your help.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you both.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good luck.